Today's podcast is brought to you by Nature's Best Relief, CBD oil and products. Hey, this is pure high-strain hemp. That's what it is. It's what they do. Their products are made from a cannabis compound with significant supplement benefits without the THC that makes you stoned or high. It's just the good stuff. The hemp products help with inflammation, pain, anxiety, psychosis, seizures, spasms, and other conditions. And here's the best news. If you use code word Mudflap or Remasculate at checkout, you can get 10% off your total bill. That's right. So check out Nature's Best Relief CBD oil and hemp products. They've got capsules, the lotions, cream. They got all the flavor oils. That's what I've been using. I like the cinnamon and the vanilla. But check them out at naturesbestrelief.com. That's naturesbestrelief.com. And use code word Mudflap or Remasculate and get 10% off your total purchase. Now, let's get on with Remasculate.
In the basement of the Mudflap house, bluffing and blue, and they're under with the grains and news. And Pooh licks herself, and Flap contemplates manly things. He thinks about guns and trucks and Stooges 3, men and boys, and that doesn't sound right. He thinks about booze and bacon and power tools. Come with me, let's remasculate. Oh, won't you come with me and remasculate?
Today's podcast is with guest Alvin Williams. Good comic, great comic, actually. I'm doing a show with him right now in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. And I want to give you the backstory. Here's his bio. This is from his website. It's hard to be likable when you're being brutally honest, but Alvin Williams has found a way. And he'll show you how for a small fee. For the little things in life that truly matter to the big issues that shouldn't matter at all, Williams finds the funny in all places you forgot to look. Whether it's current events, relationship advice, family life, or pop culture, you won't know which direction he's headed next. You'll just be glad you took the ride. Alvin shared his childhood between Illinois, Tennessee, Colorado, Oregon, Louisiana, and Idaho. Yes, Idaho, making him a native son in many of his performance destinations. Growing up, he learned to rapidly adapt to his ever-changing environment by turning strangers into friends and doing that through laughter, a skill that is noticeably on display as soon as he hits the stage. Well, he's about to hit the podcast, so let's talk to Alvin Williams. Alvin shared his childhood between Illinois, Tennessee, Colorado, Oregon, Louisiana, and Idaho. Yes, Idaho, making him a native son in many of his performance destinations. Growing up, he learned to rapidly adapt to his ever-changing environment by turning strangers into friends and doing that through laughter, a skill that is noticeably on display as soon as he hits the stage. Well, he's about to hit the podcast, so let's talk to Alvin Williams. I am sitting here in my hotel room in beautiful Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. That's right, Idaho. Who is Idaho? But Alvin Williams, I'm doing his beautiful room here. He's got a comedy show here called Comedy Inn. It's right. Is that right?
Comedy Night at the Inn.
Comedy Night at the Inn.
Yes.
And it is a wonderful room. I am lucky to be working it because these people come out for a good time. They really are here for a good time. And Alvin and I have known each other for a long time. Good comic, great comic, actually. I want to talk about his writing technique here in a minute. But Alvin, I just read your bio before you got here. That was part of the intro.
Uh-huh.
And I just want to find out exactly how many cities were you born in? Was your mother running as you were coming out? Because
no, she stayed in one place the entire time. My mom in Chicago, born and raised, will probably never leave there. Like she loves the city. Most of my family's there. I lived in Chicago until I was 16 years old, and then I moved in with my dad.
Yeah.
And he lived in Denver when I moved in with him. originally. So we were in Colorado for 2 years. I spent my last 2 years of high school
In
there.
Colorado?
Yes, in Colorado. So I considered that home. And then I went to school at University of Idaho. And turns out it's not Moscow. It's not Moscow's fault at all. I was 17 years old. I started school early. Like, when your parents put you into school, start you early at 3, it's like, yeah, so
At 3?
well,
At 3?
they thought that was a good idea, cause I'm right on that dividing line. I was born September 15th.
Yeah.
So
I'm the other way. I was born in October,
Yeah.
so I had to miss a year.
Right.
You aren't registered in time.
I
So,
wish I would have missed a year. I wish I would have, for my basketball career alone, I wish I would have had one more year to develop physically. I graduated high school at 17. I didn't have a car. So I was 17, couldn't get into any of the 18 and up spots, which is the norm for college.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a car, so I couldn't get away from Moscow on the weekends, which is what you're supposed to do in order to survive. You're supposed to go to school there, hang out with your friends, drink, go to the clubs, and then when you need to get away, you can get away. And I couldn't. So I left. I went to University of Oregon. So I lived in Oregon for a year. Had a girlfriend there. Set up shop there for a year.
And that became another home.
Yes, that became another home. And then I transferred from Oregon, not because I didn't love it. It was the tuition was too high. And I did not want to go back to University of Idaho. So I went to Louisiana State, where my oldest brother lived. That also became a home. Though I've never performed there. But that's also been a home of mine, is Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And then I went back to University of Idaho when I was older and smarter. They made me do another year of school, which actually put me on the right age as far as everybody else for the first time in my life. So I turned 21 when everybody else was turning 21.
Timing.
Yeah, I was finally in the right spot, at the right age, and it changed my whole school outlook. The friends that I met, we were going through the same stuff at the same time. Graduated 22 like I was supposed to.
Major. What was your major?
Business marketing. That was my major.
And now you're a stand-up comic.
Everything.
You and Carrot Top, actually.
Was he marketing too?
Yeah, he's marketing.
See, now everything that I learned about marketing, it was right before social media was taken seriously.
Yeah.
So everything that I learned about it is really obsolete now.
About social media marketing?
Well,
or you mean marketing in general?
Marketing in general. Like, social media changed the game so much. I really, even if I wanted to use my degree, all that I remember about that was brand. Just keep the brand consistent. That's all that I remember. Other than that, I didn't need 70 grand in debt.
But sometimes don't you feel like, okay, I came up with this idea, just my brand.
Yeah.
And now, crap, this ain't working. I came up with another brand.
Yeah, I'm like,
and now I come with another brand. How long should you stay dedicated to a brand?
To a brand?
How long is there some kind of, because, as you know from my videos, like I do like the Liberal Larry and Tucker the Trucker and Conspiracy Theory Carl, and people go, how come you quit doing one of those, like one of them I haven't done, like Smack was a character called Smack, which you may not even know. Remember, they're like, why'd you quit doing Smack? Well, it wasn't getting the video views that some of the other ones were getting.
Yeah.
So how long should you dedicate yourself to a brand before you go, shit, this ain't working?
There are two schools of thought. One is never be afraid to pivot. So put your hand in as many pots as possible and diversify what you do, and then let the market decide for you what you need to condense down to.
Yeah.
And then there's people who just stay the course, do the exact same thing that you've always been doing.
Isn't it called insanity when you keep doing the same thing?
A little bit,
over and over and hoping for it.
Yeah, it really is. But those are the people who, I take you for instance, okay? With all the different stuff that you've had to deal with and you've had to go through with people coming at you about PC this, PC that,
yeah.
And you stay the course and you are originally you.
Just be funny. That's my only thing. That's my one motto. If anything, just be funny.
You have always been that way. You don't like change as far as who you are. There's nothing that you do that's not consistent to you. And that like when these ebbs and flows of PC culture go away, and then shock humor comes back and that goes away, any of that stuff, like you're still funny through it all because you are so consistently you. Like you don't like have to pivot because you're so original.
I feel like we talked about this earlier.
Mhm.
I think some of your older stuff, which we watched today,
Yeah.
is I went, man, genuinely funny.
Yeah.
Right then, I couldn't do that today. And I'm
Yeah.
like, yes, you could.
Oh,
You could. Why would you second guess? See, are we letting society, like, it's almost like these just loud screaming people are
Mhm.
telling us what to do, and not
Yeah.
the majority of people.
Yeah.
You know.
I feel that so much because I can honestly say
Even your mom was laughing.
even my mom.
Your mom, we were talking a bit today,
she
and your
doesn't-
mom was laughing.
She doesn't laugh at my new stuff like she laughs at the
See?
old stuff. She loves the old stuff, but my mom is not PC. my mom would not be able to keep her entertainment job for very long if she was in charge of what was
She
going
would get a
on.
call from a cruise director.
Oh
wouldn't she?
yeah. Oh yeah. one or
Could
two
you come
cruise
down to my
directors sit her
office?
down. And you've heard her. She'd curse them out. But yeah, but you have to remember too. I mean, I'm 12 and a half years in what are you, 37?
Close, yeah, about that now.
Yeah. But I've noticed who I was, even 5 years ago versus who I am now.
Yeah.
Now I'm really true to myself to the point where I don't feel like anybody can get me to change what I want to talk about.
Yeah.
You know, but I didn't feel that way even 5 years ago. You
Yeah.
know,
I feel you're in about the same place that I felt I hit mine.
yeah.
And it was at the same place. I'm not sure, but I think I've mentioned it on this podcast before. But Leno, years ago when he was still a road comic, not Jay Leno as most people know him, but he was a road guy, was talking about, he felt really, most people comics hit their stride about 10, 12 years.
Mm.
Like at that point, you kind of find yourself,
Yeah.
you stop pretending to be a comic.
Right.
You know, a lot of times you first get there like, hey, how you doing, everybody?
Yeah.
You can always hear that when other comics are on stage.
Yeah.
Hey, how about you doing all right tonight? Great to be here.
No, it's so true. Like you want your energy to be infectious when you first start out, like you're hitting everybody as hard as you can as soon as you get out there. And I don't feel that need anymore.
No.
I feel like
I like to start slow.
Yeah.
I actually like to start a little
Yes.
bit and then and they go, wow, it got,
Yeah.
because if you start screaming, how's everybody tonight?
Yeah.
You can't go
You
much
can't
higher than
sustain
that.
that.
You can't, yeah.
Well, and it's like that in sports too. The NBA point guards, they always, they're faster than everybody when they first come out of college. They're playing at one speed. They're just trying to outrun everybody because they're used to being the most athletic. And then they start playing against players that are bigger, older, smarter than them. And they teach them you have to choose your speeds and learn how to slow down a little bit and pace yourself.
And against the player that you're against.
Right.
You know, what speed is he playing?
Yeah.
Are you going to?
And now, like, I pick and choose the spots because there are some audiences you gotta jump them.
Oh, I know.
You have to jump 'em.
Especially if you follow a comic that, okay, I need to come out
Right.
and just slap them now.
Right. Yeah, and it's like you've left me no choice.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But if they leave it to me, like the special I just did, I had everybody who as a fan of mine, like they were there and I knew they were there just for me, and I was naturally just me, and naturally just me is I start out real calm, real slow, because that's really me.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Well, tell us more about the special. You mentioned it earlier.
Yeah.
Is it who's doing it? Where
Mhm.
can we find it? And how is it? I mean, tell us more about the whole thing.
This is something that I've been doing comedy for 12 and a half years now. The people who filmed this were the people who were in the building the first time that I ever did an open mic in a comedy club. My first
Wow.
ever stand. It was July 3rd, 2007. And they were a new film company, and they decided we want to try to film comedy. And so they started out at the open mic, and that's how I met these guys. And we all kind of drifted apart and did our own thing. The film company broke apart. And those guys, they were doing their different things. One of the guys started shooting for He did some camera work for Marvel on their movies. One guy was directing his own independent stuff and went to Atlanta. So they broke apart, and I was out on the road doing my own thing. And then I got a call from one of the guys because one of the guys in the production group, we were all friends, but we hadn't talked to each other in a while. One of them came to a show where I was prepping and doing new material for an album.
Talking in Chicago?
Yes, Talking in Chicago, which I'm super proud of. I was doing the work for that, and they liked it so much that I got a call from the guy who's the lead cameraman director, and he said, "Hey, we've been bouncing this idea around for a while. Like, I want to shoot your special," and I was like, "Oh, that's great." But, like, what do I have to do? And they're like, no,
what's it going to cost me?
Exactly.
What do I have to
That's
do?
all I'm thinking.
What's it going to cost me?
Yeah. I'm like, I know you got cameras.
Yeah,
like,
I've seen your cameras. But...
And he said to me, no, this is bigger than that. We want to invest in you. We want to shoot your special. We've always wanted to do it. We've just kind of been waiting for you to get to a point where we felt, we could make money on this together. And they filmed the special. They want to shop it around, see who
might buy it.
Yeah, who might buy it. I said, so what? What are you looking at? Like, what do you want? And they said, man, we're shooting for the moon on this one. So
we always shoot for the moon. It's not like, well, we're going to try to get it on cable access in Coeur d'Alene.
I'm just like, come on, man, just let people see it. But they're serious about this. Like, so I mean, I don't know if it's going to go to Amazon. I don't know if it'll do Netflix or if it'll do an independent streaming site. But this is what they're going to use to shop both their company. Like they rebranded. Speaking of
rebranding,
they rebrand. They have a different name now.
What's the name of the special?
That I don't know.
What are you knocking around? What idea? Because I know that how it is. Because I just did a new album myself.
Yeah.
And I originally wanted to call. I had several ideas. Originally, I wanted to call it "Thinking Outside the Box" and have a cat pooping in the toilet, using the toilet. That was my idea. Think outside the box. And it was like, maybe not, maybe. And then I thought it should be one of these, I've said this before and I'll say it again. It was just one of the, because that was an idea.
Yeah.
And then there's so much PC going on in today, and I'm so against all that, like we talked about the Me Too, hashtag Me Too stuff.
Yeah.
And I thought, I'm just one of those toxic masculinity guys. That's what, because somebody put that on Twitter, said that to me, like, your toxic masculinity is like, bam!
Yeah,
that's what I'm going to call it, toxic masculinity. And the picture, I don't know if I showed you, it's a picture of me holding a teacup poodle.
I have not seen it.
I'll show you that. Show you the picture later.
You got to show me that.
The toxic masculinity, and I'm holding a teacup poodle. I think the whole phrase is just stupid.
Yeah.
What is toxic masculinity? Knowing how to change a tire, being a man, actually being able to start a fire in your grill?
Which two of those things I don't know how to do. And I think it's the toxic masculinity part. It's almost as if we're at a point where the things that you've been raised on, the things that were considered, this is what it takes to be a man. It's like you're getting punished for your natural urge. You're getting punished for, I went, I had lunch with another comic, and I paid for her meal. Now,
oh no,
yeah. Now this one was new to me. I've never had a problem with anybody paying for my meal.
Not at all, ever.
Yeah, ever.
Nor would I ever at any point.
Ever. I was always taught, treat your feature act to lunch at least once on your week.
Me too.
Like it's not.
You're the headliner. You're making a little more money. Be nice. And
do this one.
Pay it forward.
Yeah, and people every headliner I had ever featured for had always done that for me. So I think nothing of it, male or female. It just happened. She was female, and I knew from because we had gone to the movies. We went to go see a movie. I knew that she's one of those types, like she wasn't going to let me pay for something outright. There was going to be a fight or whatever.
Right.
So when she went to the restroom, I told the waiter, hey, here, take my card. paying for this, then it's already done.
Oh no.
She
Oh.
got pissed off.
Oh.
She said, "Alvin, it's about consent." And I said,
Lunch,
You know
paying
what
for
I mean?
lunch is consent.
I was like, wait a minute. What just happened? Like what just I need consent to pay for eating? I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that it had gotten
I could pay for my own meal.
Yeah.
I'm a strong modern woman,
But
and I don't need you to weaken me in any
Right.
way.
But I was just like, you make half. Like this is feature headliner. Like that
Don't think you expect anything from this.
that's how it felt. And it almost hurt. It was just like, well, how deep does it go before you say something?
Well, I say it all the time on Twitter, and I'll say it here. Like, I believe feminism is just kill stuff.
You can hurt it.
It was one thing when you wanted equality. I understand that.
Yeah.
You want to be equality.
Yeah.
And now it's just like man hating. It's just gone. It's not about equality.
Yeah.
And the lies that are still perpetrated. Like, we don't make what you make. $1 is $1. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
It's not like it tore it in half and go, here's your pay, bitch.
Yeah.
$1 is $1. If you make less, it's because you accepted that offer.
And it's not just a woman thing. It happens in the
anybody.
Black community too. Like it's I know there are times where I've accepted less money.
Me too.
And I know, but it can
Because
be,
you want the job.
You want the job, and
I need
and
a paycheck.
You might be new into the business.
Yeah.
And you're just like,
Get your foot in the door.
Yeah. And I'm like, we'll get to this another time. I'll get,
I'll prove myself on the next pay.
and I'll renegotiate the next time. That's how I've always
me
been.
too.
My friends, like they would come at me, like you're making, because I'm super honest about, the money part.
Yeah.
I don't know what I don't know, but nobody can make me feel bad about what I accepted to do the job.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I know there's somebody else that makes more.
Yeah.
I know that. But I will get, and make no mistake.
And maybe he's been doing it 5-10
He's been
years
doing-
longer than you.
He's and
Why is he making more?
the cruise ships, same thing. It's like there are guys who make more than you, and it was like, is it a credit thing? No, it's actually a longevity thing.
Yeah.
The longer you've done it, you get a raise on top of it. And I didn't know that part, so I'm glad I didn't say anything.
Why is he making more
Yeah,
money?
because at the time, and my mom, of course.
Yeah.
Like, you said,
Alvin, you need to find
You
out
need
why
a-
that man is making more money than
you
you.
need a raise. Are you sure that's what you're getting? And
You been doing this how long, and they
Yeah.
had not given you a raise yet?
I'm like, you know what I know? I know that I'm making 3 times as much as I was making on land.
Yeah.
And like it was that part. Even if I am getting stiff at this point, I am doing so much better than what I was doing. Now,
And it beats roofing.
it beats roofing by a ton. But make no mistake, when I do get to that point, and it's time to re-up, like I won't accept anything less, because I've accepted the less part.
Yeah.
Like, I will always want what it is that I know, like it's my time to get when it's that time.
Now, you work for several cruise lines.
Yeah.
Like myself, I'm basically a Royal Caribbean guy.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. It just
Royal.
became like by the agency.
Yeah.
And I've had so many comics and even other acts that are singers on the band,
Mhm.
on the ship. So go, man, you'd be perfect on Norwegian. You should call such and such.
Uh-huh.
Or, one of these a cappella groups goes, they'd love you. You're clean set on the Disney ship. I swear.
Yeah.
I go, Disney, trust me. I've been doing it for 25 years. You're clean set. And I'm like, well, I'll say something to the agency. But for whatever reason, it's like they just go, no, Royal likes you. Royal fills out your calendar.
fills that
So
sucker
why
quick.
you want to mess with it?
Yeah.
So, but but they go to other ships, go to other places.
Hey man, Royal will keep you working if you've proven yourself on it and you got space in your schedule. Royal will fill that sucker, and
Yeah.
I'm grateful.
You're so grateful.
But they, I just dig the vibe, of Royal, and I do some Norwegian work as well, and I did Holland America.
All the old people.
Yeah, that's
Not
one of those ones.
old.
I like the way I'm treated, but I think I got another, like, I can wait a little bit longer.
For that crowd?
Yeah, like they'll be there for me.
Yeah. When I age out of this
Yeah.
line, I'll move up to that
Yeah,
line.
like I spent my whole 20s dating women 10, 15 years older than me, and then I didn't like have any women in my 20s who were 20. So
So you couldn't relate to them.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so like that's how it feels on the cruise lines. It's like you don't want to date up on the cruise lines. Like it'll be there when you're the appropriate.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
Next thing you know, you're one of those Crystal River cruises.
right.
With,
Yeah. Like give it time. Like your back will hurt too, and you can tell the people about it.
boy, I woke up this morning and my back hurt. I love this guy.
Yeah.
I can relate to
He
him.
gets me.
You ever wake up and just be happy
Yeah.
you woke up?
Yeah.
Yes.
This guy gets it. You know what I like about him? It's clean. It's clean and it's good.
Now, every time I see you or work with you, you have new material,
Mhm.
and a lot of new material.
Yes.
Like I try to write every day.
Yes.
It doesn't always make it into my act, but as far as Twitter, I'm writing every day, and that's my writing tool. Is if I can write a good tweet that gets a good response, I
Uh-huh.
try to write a bit because I already have the punchline.
Right.
That's my kind of my writing process.
Yes.
So what is your writing process? Do you just get an idea, or do you sit down with a piece of paper, just stare at it till you go,
Oh no.
okay, I got something?
That I every idea that I have, it doesn't matter how quick it was. If I think there's something there, I write it down in the moment. I stop whatever I'm doing and I put it somewhere, and it's in my phone. And I have I looked last time. I've got 287 joke premises that I need to flesh out that I haven't done
Yeah.
yet. And whenever my goal is to have 60 minutes, a new 60 minutes per year.
How do you because talking about the new album that I
Mhm.
did, I recorded 4 shows
Mm-hmm.
with a lot of new stuff in it,
Yes.
and I'm having to go through and edit out the old stuff.
Yes. Yeah.
Because I'm just not. I can't put it all together.
Right.
You know how these people go like, "That's my new hour.
Yeah.
That's my new. I'm doing a new."
Yeah.
Well, it's great to get new material, but do you go out and just die for a while until you get it to work? Or because I find it's just easier to go, I'm going to open with this 5 minutes, and then there's a new 10, and I'm going to stick this in. I'm back to here's a new chunk.
Yeah.
You know.
I see, and that's why I do these Idaho shows that I have. There's 2 things that I get to do that not a lot of comics get to do. I have a quarterly show here, and I have a quarterly show in Moscow. So I have Coeur d'Alene, I have Moscow. That's 8 shows a year where I'm doing 10 to 15 minutes up front to a crowd that already knows who I am.
Yeah.
So I don't have to prove myself at all. Like they know I'm the host.
They know you're funny.
Yeah, they know I'm funny already. Yeah. They are trained on me trying out new things with them before the show starts with
Right.
the people who are going to come in and do their A stuff. They know with me, I'm feeling out, seeing what works and what doesn't. No matter what, I'm always going to be back.
Yeah.
So when you walk in with no pressure on you to do that, I have basically an open mic with 300 people. And that's a real audience with open mic rules.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah. I feel that way for me and I haven't done it in a while, but Looney's in Colorado Springs.
Yes.
Looney's has always been one of those places that I will walk in, and I've actually done 45 minutes that I've never done before.
Right.
Because I've just, the owner, what's his name?
Eric.
Eric doesn't care. He's happy you're
He's
there.
amazing. I love Eric.
And I'll just walk and start talking to the audience. And they'll, like, next thing I know, I'm down and I'm like, I just got a bunch of new stuff.
Yeah.
But I can't do that in other clubs where I feel like, well, if I don't kick ass, they're not going to have me back.
And that's the thing. And that's what I mean about even with Eric Hawkinson. He's family. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you feel comfortable with your family. The Idaho crowds, they're family. I do Boise. And I have Thursday to Sunday, and my Boise friends, they're familiar with this process for me. I go to Boise, I do a brand new hour. Like the jokes.
Do you have it written out as an hour?
I have it written. I pick and like that 287 I was talking about.
Uh-huh.
I will pick and peel from that and create a show out of that, and then give them a new hour on Thursday when there's like 12 people there, right?
A new hour.
Yes, I try a new hour. It all doesn't go well, but I take take 2 shots and I go on stage for 12 people, and whatever works that night, I'll because something's gonna work. You know.
Do you write it out word for word?
Yes,
word for word.
I write word for word.
You don't take those, like, for me, a lot of times I'll take a premise, like I did a premise, because I know that my brain goes to a funnier place on stage. And I'm sure you know this too. You're getting a mood. You're like, that was funny. Right. I got to remember that.
Yeah.
And that's sort of how I write, is like, it's almost an improv thing until I go, that's a chunk that I can do, where I can't just sit at and then I will say, fool, I didn't say nothing about no bread.
I do word for word, in parentheses, act out like this, do this. I do it word for word. Now, does it come out that way on stage when I first do it? No, you're gonna forget some parts, but I try to do it as word for word as possible, and then the audience tells me what the funniest parts are, and then I will go back and tweak it.
Yeah.
And by Sunday, I have a new hour.
Do you act it out in your room? Do you practice like these guys I hear about that? They kind of practice like it's a one-man play. Like you got to remember the script before you.
I try. I try my best, but it changes depending on the audience, as far as an act out, like the confidence that you have. If they laughed harder at that, then I'll probably act it out. But like you saw that video and you were like, you committed to that. It was like,
I said, you was like, you acted it out. You committed.
They made me feel
sucking your fingers as the guy in the conference room. What if we did chicken?
So that is my process. Is I have the quarterly shows. I'll do 10 to 15 minutes, maybe 5. Hopefully 10 of it will work. Right. I've got 10 minutes in March, 10 minutes in September, and 10 minutes in January. And then I'll go to Boise in October or November and try out the stuff that worked in those places, mix in some stuff that I hadn't used from my cell phone, and put it together and create that hour. And then by the end of the year, I have that hour every year. And Boise is that's the big cog of it.
And how much of that hour stays with you, or do you remember as you go along? Because a lot of times I'll forget stuff. Like I thought about doing an album about 4 years ago. I had like a whole bunch of stuff that I was ready to go. Yeah. And I didn't do it. And then you kind of go, oh, man, I forgot. What was the thing I was doing about taking my wife's picture?
Right.
What was it? It was an Instagram fight we had. What was that bit? You sort of forget. You do it for a while, and then you go, man, if you don't do it often, like ships.
Right.
You
it goes away.
It goes away. Yeah. And then I forgot, like when I got ready to do this, I was like, I don't remember a bunch of the stuff that I thought I was ready to do.
Right.
Because I had a bunch of stuff like, all the show, Intervention. I had a bunch of stuff about the TV show Intervention. And then I got working on this album, and I go, I don't remember the intervention bit. I didn't really write it down.
Yeah.
I had an intervention bit that I wanted to do, but I can't remember what it was.
Yeah.
So does that stick with you, or do you try to? How do you
whatever the newest hour is, like I stick to that pretty hard, and I try in some way, shape, or form to get a recording of the old stuff just to have it. And I've done a few albums. I've got some stuff on YouTube as well.
You have a lot of YouTube stuff.
Yeah.
Look up Alvin Williams on YouTube, because he has a whole lot of YouTube stuff.
Yeah. And that's how I keep the bits that I liked more than anything else. And once I put it up somewhere, I just assume people before they come see my show will see that bit.
Yeah.
And I've kind of forgotten about it, so it's even better for them,
right?
Because I've forgotten about that bit, so they've seen a whole different set before they come see me do a different set.
Well, I do things different every show. Like a lot of people go, I've seen you like 6 times. It's always different. Yeah. No, it's not really. It's out of order.
Yeah.
It was out of order. I'd switch up the order because I don't have an order.
Well, see,
I just kind of go, oh, that was the perfect time to say this one. And then it seems like, ooh, you just thought of that.
You were, but it feels like that with you. I mean, after you have over 30 years of material, and I mean, people fight their whole life to get an hour, and you would ask me what my writing process was, and you're probably not going to believe me, but, this is something that we talked about a few years back, because I asked, like, how do you do what you do? Because I've watched you when we worked together for a weekend, I watched you do a different hour each night when we were in Looney's. And I was like, what the hell just happened? You know, like that hour was perfect yesterday. And then
what was wrong with that one he did?
Yeah, I'm like that. No, that one crushed. Like I booked you on things with other people, and I never like the show is gonna go up here when you hit the stage. So I'm just like, I hope that everybody's secure with themselves before you hit the stage. And I would never, like, I tried to do an all-star weekend one time with you, and it was just like, you're like, I don't care what order I'm in.
I don't care.
Like, I know you don't care. I know you don't care. But I think it's impossible to follow you. I think that's...
Bob Fisher, at the Ice House, who used to own the Ice House, paid me one of my favorite compliments when it was the 50-year anniversary of the Ice House, and they were doing a big lineup. You know, it was Brad Garrett and Iglesias. What was
Gabriel, Fluffy.
Fluffy, and it was I wish I could remember all the names. It was Dennis Miller, the guy from Wayne's World.
Dana Carvey.
Dana Carvey was there. It was like, it was all these people. Paula Poundstone. It was and Craig Robinson was there. I closed the show. At all these people, all celebrities.
Yeah.
They're celebrities.
Yeah.
And he had me close. And I go, Bob, I got to follow. And he goes, look, I'm not sure they can follow you.
Right.
He goes, they're stars.
Mm-hmm.
You're a comic.
Yeah.
And that's what he told me. He goes, they're stars. You're a comic.
Yeah. This
and I really felt almost the pressure. Like, this is going to be 3 hours of like stars. And then like, they're going to, who the hell's this?
Nobody wants to follow you, man. And I mean, you saw my friends last night. The one woman who she couldn't sit in her seat. She had to stand up just to catch her breath because she was laughing so hard. And that's how your shows are. And I just asked you. I asked you what your process was, and you told me about how. What I noticed about you is your jokes. You can pick and pull however you want, and you can your jokes have a start and a finish. You know,
the chunks.
Yeah, the chunks.
Yeah.
And everything that I do for that hour like has to be related to each other. Like I do that hour is its own thing.
Yeah.
You know, but I wanted to learn how to do what you do.
You're a very funny TED Talk, by the way. You are an hysterical TED Talk. Tonight, I'm going to do an hour about how bugs hump on your face.
That's a fact, by the way. That's an actual
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, that is 100% accurate.
He did a bit last night that I just started laughing. It was crazy. And how did you set it up? Because the way you set it up was like something real normal. Like the very first Google is.
Yeah.
That was the start of the.
But that was the start of that bit. I started out by just saying, I'm not bitter. I'm just single, and it sounds the same. It's not the same. It's the energy is different because when you're single, you sound bitter because you're so passionate about everything because you don't have things like unconditional love and people having sex with you distracting you from the stuff that matters, and the things that I think about as a single person, I think about so that you all don't have to, but those thoughts would scare you if I brought it out there.
Yeah.
And that's when I talked about the Demodex mites, and they're these.
Oh, but wait, before I mean to interrupt you. But it was the Google, the thing that got me.
Search.
The Google search. You go. You know what the number one Google search is?
The number one Google search is how do we achieve world peace?
Yeah.
And that's my whole thing. Like people will get better. We're gonna get better. There is an issue that we have, like men and women aren't coming together, but we're gonna reach that center point together again. We're going to get better. And I know that because the number one search on Google around the world is how do we achieve world peace? And the number two search is what's wrong with Seal's face.
And I just broke out laughing because I'm following this nice, fluffy unicorn story. And what the hell is wrong with Seal's face?
The drop off is impeccable.
What? But then from there, it went to mites having sex on your face.
Yeah.
Somehow, I guess because it was Seal. What's wrong with Seal's face?
Yeah, the things that you don't think about would destroy you. You need single people to think about these things so that you can live the life that you're living.
Yeah, let them think about the weirdness and stuff.
And that, I brought up the Demodex mite.
And then you go, no, it's true. There's bugs that have sex on your face at night.
And they wait till you sleep.
And the whole audience was like, what? You can feel it. What? I've heard about spiders.
Yeah, people worry about eating spiders at night. Like, this is a whole different...
Yeah, don't worry about a spider walking on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they
you got to worry about...
Demodex mites. They live in your eyebrows.
Mite bukkake.
And your eye...
you ever wonder why you wake up and your hair's messed up? That's all that bug gel.
My skin is more oily than I remember. Like, I need
to wake up and wash my face.
That messed me up when I read it because it's so human. Like, they have a life on your face, and they're not. It's not like they don't realize they're living on your face. They wait till you go to sleep to do it.
Is that really? This is a fact.
Yes.
If I Google this and look it up, they actually sit there.
They wait till you sleep.
Shh, he's asleep. Let's hump on his nose.
Come on, baby. He ain't gonna wake up. he just did Pilates. Like, they wait till you sleep, and that's when they live their life.
And you were talking about how the female lives inside the pores.
Yes, the female Demodex mite, when in her adult stage, because they live for 2 weeks, and there's 5 days of adulthood for male and female Demodex mites. The females, in that 5 days of adulthood, they find one pore in your skin, and they live there. They
hang a little sign, home sweet home.
They have live, laugh, love, and the pore, and they just settle. They live there. They have their home.
Mm-hmm. Got their house shoes and a wine glass.
Just kicking it, watching what Grey's Anatomy.
Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah, because it relates.
Maybe a Hallmark Christmas movie marathon.
And the male Demodex mite does the complete opposite. He has no home. All he does for his entire adulthood is he just cruises around
for those 5 days.
For those 5 days, he cruises around your face and waits for a female Demodex mite to pop up her head. And
what was that? I was watching TV.
Yeah. That's demo. They wait for them to pop up and they have sex with them.
Right there.
Yes, right there.
And how many babies do they have on your face?
You know what? I never went that far.
You don't get that far in the Google search? See, you're missing a whole chunk of this bit now.
I did.
You could be like, and then you
I think that would just be depressing to find out that
you ever blink your eye and you see like a little dark spot go across your eye?
Yeah.
That's one of their little babies.
I thought that was just like no, that's a
they
baby. They
call that a floater.
Yeah. Yeah, that's 100% real, man. Like the stuff truth is stranger than fiction.
Yeah.
And that's where the humor comes from for me, is the stuff that's so unbelievable sounding.
Well, I think a lot of times for me is I try to think of things that people can relate to, but don't normally talk about.
Yes.
It's very, I want it to be relatable, but you're like, hey, how come I never thought about that with my ring doorbell?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want it to be something. What are they doing, and how can I make this more relatable?
Oh my good! I've never seen somebody. That's why I told you. I've been practically begging you to come back here, because I'm like, man, your people miss you. Like this place is tailor made for you.
Well, I was shocked about this because we talked about, you're like, can you available next year? And I'm like, well, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, how about tomorrow? What?
I know it's
you were like, for me.
Well, because every time I ask, as soon as I get and you know this, as soon as they give me new dates, I always contact you.
I'm like, Dad, I'm booked. I'm on a ship.
Like, I'm booked. So I didn't even think about, I had a spot, but it was like we were talking, like 2 or 3 weeks ago or something like that. And I was like, yeah, but you were like November next year. I'm like, yeah, next year. I mean, I've got a spot.
And I'm like, what's wrong with this?
Yeah, I was like, hey man, if you can do it, like, come out here. Like, they miss you. Like this is, I get hounded about when's Mudflap coming back.
Yeah,
like,
your other guy out here, there was the other hotel guy It was so nice to meet.
Mike
yeah,
O'Brien.
he's always
Yes.
like, you ever want to come back?
Yes.
You ever want to?
Mike loves you. Yeah, now you got to come back and do that too, because and that guy. I just want to put a shout out there because he's my business partner
And good guy, really
he's
good
a
guy.
Great guy, salt of the earth. What he has done for comedy in Idaho. Like, I'm the front man, and he just lets me do what I do, which is I assemble the talent and I create a nice show out of it. My shows are balanced. I'm super proud of it. I love having my friends come out here and show out.
Yeah.
And he takes care of every little thing that you don't think about.
And he runs a nice, I shouldn't say nice, a great hotel.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
hotel is nice. Same thing with this place.
Yeah.
The Best Western
Uh-huh.
is really the guy last night. I guess he was the manager. Was like, what can I get you?
Yeah.
And
With Russell?
Yeah, and he's
Yeah.
like bringing me water and like a champagne thing
Yeah,
on
he-
ice, and
he-
I just wanted water.
He hooked up my mom. It was on the house, gave her Coronas and stuff. She was already lit by the time that I offered her a beer. They think of the little things, and it taught me so much, because we've been doing these shows for 7 years. It taught me so much about how to treat people, how to treat comedians, because when we first started, Mike asked me, he said to me, if you had the perfect gig, what would you want?
Yeah.
What are the things that people did for you that you liked the most? I said, well, going into a room, they had water and some snacks.
Yeah.
Telling me welcome, when I came.
Glad you're here. Just glad
yeah.
you're here.
Glad you're here. Mr. Williams. Mike used to have this joke where he would ask the comics, anything I can get for you? Food, drinks, supermodels, And people always, I mean, we're comics.
Yeah.
They would always
good
answer.
sense of humor.
Yeah, Kate, what's her name? The one with, yeah.
Oh.
It's Kate Upton.
Kate Upton.
Yeah.
I was saying
it's
Katie
like
Price. That's
Kate
British.
Upton would be nice. That happened a lot. Mike would have food, drinks in your room, and then a picture from Kate Upton. So we're
So glad you're here.
Yeah, we're glad.
Well, I came in and there was a fruit tray.
Yeah.
Like I was like, oh, I freaking love this.
And
gig.
I asked you, like, is there anything that you want? You're like, no, I don't need
Clean.
anything. I'm good. Yeah, that's all
Any
you
room
ask.
requests?
Any room
clean.
requests, clean. and they still give you water and everything else. And if there was one time where the comic he just didn't want anything, right? They went to his Facebook page. He had just gotten done watching a movie. The movie snacks that he had in the picture with him, they had those same snacks waiting for him in his room. They went to his profile, saw, okay, he likes this, he likes M&Ms, he likes Pringles. They had that same stuff he had when he went to go to the movies a week ago. They had those same snacks waiting for him.
That's very cool.
It's the little things, man.
Yeah.
And I always model this after Fantasy Island.
Mm-hmm.
Like people, they go there, they work whatever's going on. Like comics go through a lot of crap on the road.
Yeah.
And I just like for this gig to be a getaway from that. This is a retreat. There's no manager here, breathing on your neck saying, hey, stick to your time, all that stuff. This is for you to be appreciated, to get treated the way that you deserve to be treated, so that you are refreshed and you go back out there on the road with the right attitude and don't get burnt out.
With a nice new attitude towards comedy again.
Exactly.
Maybe I do like this job.
Yeah.
Maybe I.
And there's a method to this to me. And if there's any bookers out there, I think this is a big one. The key to a successful lineup when you're in a smaller town is find people who make it a priority to connect with people after the show is done, who actually talk to people just because they
hang out, and discuss, and
hang out, have some drinks, because that's what they remember more than anything.
Yeah.
Like you can wow them on stage, but if you come off stage and don't want to talk to people in a rural area, are you kidding me? Like, no, they can't wait to come have a drink with you at the end of the show and come hang out. So,
speaking of a small town, I told you this earlier. I was back in my room, and I decided I wanted something from Uber Eats. And so I got on my app, and I ordered a couple of bunless burgers from Jack in the Box. And my driver pulls up and, hey, you are a photographer at the comedy show. She goes, oh, I thought I recognized your name. Like, boy, this is a small town.
Yeah.
Well, you were the photographer for the comedy show,
Yeah.
but now you're delivering food.
Yeah.
So you're the mayor after this? What do you-
Hold on, McGrew's having an order. No, but they take care of you, and they never freaking forget you. And I mean, I'm in love with this place, you know, for that reason. Like, it's not a money thing here. I think every comic that's come here, you know, like we've all grown, like we command what we command out on the road, but people still come here. You know, the rates haven't changed.
Yeah.
You know, but people still come back year after year to perform because they remember how much they're appreciated.
It's kind of like a little paid vacation.
Yes.
A little
It's a
bit.
stipend,
Yeah.
you know?
Coeur d'Alene's nice. The area's beautiful.
Yeah.
You're kind of like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah.
I'll relax in my
Yeah.
bed and do a show tonight.
Come
That's
kick it at the hotel, you
Yeah.
know, like come hang out with the comics. You know, we talk about the road. Like,
Yeah.
it's great for me too. It recharges me too.
Well, speaking of the road, what would you say you had your absolutely worst show ever?
Ooh. It was at a college, University of North Carolina, Pembroke was the name of it. I'll never forget. I had a meltdown.
Like you did?
Yeah.
On stage or
Right on
after the stage?
Right on stage. I mean, a meltdown for me. Like, I'm a pretty even kill guy for the most
Yeah,
part.
this is your
right?
meltdown. Well, I guess I'm going to go ahead and walk off now.
That was pretty
I'm
close.
so angry with you people.
That was
I think
pretty
I'll,
close. Because you know how it is with these colleges now.
Oh, I know. It's ridiculous.
I
can't do college.
I can't do another college.
Mm-mm.
And I always considered myself liberal and progressive, and you know.
But you're honest and a real thinker and
Yeah.
can see both sides.
Yes.
It's not like,
yeah. That's a
It's
major.
kind of like what you were saying about paying the woman's thing.
Yeah.
You're a liberal,
Yeah.
and you're like, what the? Are
There-
you crazy?
there-
It's lunch.
Yeah. There comes a point. It's like I can't be on board with everything.
Everything.
You know? Like when
I ain't
people-
that woke.
Yeah. that's not, because there are times I'm like, baby, I feel you. It's gonna get better. Everything's gonna get better. Like, you know, we're gonna progress. And it's like, don't call me baby. I'm like, well, you know what? Never mind.
Can you imagine the heads on these women if they were anywhere near when guys used to go, these gals that I work
these
with,
dames.
these dames, or the gams on that babe.
Their mind would explode. How did you accept that, Grandma? Like,
Yeah, how did they watch like Mad Men
Right.
and not just throw shit at the TV?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I kind of. It was a guilty pleasure for me watching Mad Men because
It made you feel like, yeah, remember the good old days?
it made me feel, and I'm like, and who am I? Like, I'm a 35-year-old black dude. Like, I know things are probably crappy for us back then too, but to watch them, it's like they're having drinks at work. You know, they're
They're at work, they're in the office, slapping a secretary.
Yeah.
Hey, get me a cigarette.
Yeah, I'm just like, man.
I remember one episode they were like, maybe we should get a woman in here and see what she thinks about this ad campaign.
Right. And I when I watched that, I'm like, oh man, because you know how there's guys who like, well, I wouldn't have been like that back then.
Yes, you would
No,
have.
I would have completely. I would have, like a fish to water. I would have taken to it, and I'm not proud.
But you know, back to what the podcast was basically remasculate.
Mhm.
Let's really be honest and,
Yes.
and look at things. When all the women's magazines were all about looking good
Mhm.
and satisfy your guy
Yeah.
and dinners that he will love.
Yes.
And I can't believe I made a bad cup of coffee for him. You know, all those
Yeah.
kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And he was out there doing a job, bringing home money.
Mhm.
And basically you were home with the kids. And I've talked to my mom about this. You really did accept your roles.
Right.
Those were your jobs.
Right.
You wanted to raise the absolute best kid.
Yeah.
You wanted to be the mom that was the head of the PTA.
Yeah.
And there wasn't drive-by shootings.
No.
There wasn't the psychologist having to go to school every Wednesday because somebody had a mental breakdown in gym class
It's true.
because I felt I was being bullied.
Right. No.
No, there was times were good and bad, and they don't want to accept that. They just what do you mean when women couldn't vote? Well, what year was that? That's not what I'm talking about. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
But-
it's there. Yeah, it's you know, my friend asked me one time if you could time travel, what era would you go back to? And I said, If I could, I don't know, 1997. And they said 97. I was like, yeah, like the Bulls had just won like their 5th title, you know.
Oh yeah, every player on that team was famous.
Yeah, like that, you know, like Chicago was cool at that time. The music, like all, and she was like, I would go to like you know, the 1600s or 1700s. Like you wouldn't want to see that. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like I can't go back that far. You know, like I can think about time travel to a point. To a point. Like
time travel.
Yeah.
I want to go back to a day that I remember, not to a place that
not a place that's like, no, I know it wasn't like this is one of those times where it's the best time that it's ever been for black people and for women. But it feels like it's the worst time.
Because you're being told.
Because you're being told it's the worst time. And
you know, that's one of the things that
that's really
people know that I'm a Trump guy, as you know.
Yeah.
You know, nothing. But lowest black unemployment ever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all minority employment is good. Hispanic minority is up.
Yeah.
But if you watch CNN, not reading the news or keeping up with facts, they're like, it's horrible.
Yeah.
It's horrible. I can't believe he's doing that.
And I feel
okay, even if you don't like him, acknowledge the fact some of this shit's working.
There's got to be something to the fact that this is like this is the most successful I've ever been, and that is rough.
See, but it doesn't have to. If you're an honest person and you'll go, okay, maybe I was slightly wrong, or I can see where this is going. You know, like Candace Owens. I mean, there's people that you and I can talk about. Candace Owens or Brandon Tatum. I don't know Brandon Turning Point. It was a black police officer. But now he's going and speaking about how we were basically lied to. He goes, basically we've been lied to.
But tell me if I'm wrong. It feels like for 8 years the left will get their way. In 8 years the right will get their way, and I mean, it's just.
Well, it's always been that way till this point.
Mm-hmm.
And like right now, like, you know, tearing down the statues, like, you know, General Lee statues or all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
If it was really that bad, I bet Obama, he was the black president.
Uh-huh.
How come they didn't come down? How come they go, hey, Obama, will you help us take these down? I sure will. But all of a sudden Trump's in. We're like, we need to erase history.
Oh,
you know?
Well, and here's what I want people from both sides to see is that the way that we're acting about Trump is the way that people acted about Obama. It's like if it wasn't your guy, this is the worst thing that could have ever happened. Like that's how we are as a society. There's no in between.
But it never got that bad, and I will give you that. You're like, it's crap. He doesn't done shit. But it wasn't like there was no like Antifa going, we're going to burn down a school since Obama is president.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's almost like it's become a little more too extreme, you know?
I think a lot of it is technology.
Because it used to be like, you won this one, we'll get you next time.
Right. And
we hate your guy, but we'll get you next time.
It doesn't feel that way now, does it? It
feels
like we wanna take everything apart. And I'm just like, so how does it end? Like what do we do? Because the system, if anything, no matter what side you're on, this whole thing proved the system is not where it should be.
Yeah, well, it's the media.
Yeah.
I go with the media because, you know, people will say to me, like I've heard, well, how can you I thought you were a Trump guy. Yeah, well, you're hanging out with this gay guy. Like, yeah, he's my friend.
Right.
Like, you know, I'm sure somebody go, you had Alvin on. Yeah, he's my friend.
Yeah.
You know, it's never been about, well, I guess I can't talk to you.
Right.
So that's what's stupid about, you don't choose sides. You don't choose free. You know, you just go, hey, that's my buddy.
Right. That's my friend.
Yeah.
And we have our styles of comedy are so different in the sense of you know me, like I sometimes when I'm up there, like I'm talking politics, you know, and
I will never do that.
I know you never do that, but you still, when I'm in Denver, you're the first guy that's there, you know, supporting me.
Right.
You know, like you're at the show because I'm your friend.
Right.
You know, and it's the same thing with you. It's like, no, Steve's funny.
Yeah.
It's like it's bigger. Like to me, comedy, like the fraternity of that is bigger than that.
Yeah.
You know, and it's okay to have different beliefs, have different thoughts, But if that person was your friend, there's a
Friend is
reason
your
for
friend.
that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, on Twitter, you can't pick and choose a lot of your friends. You know, they're followers. They're not really friends. They're just followers. And people will say to me, I can't believe you let that guy post that on your.
Yeah.
I said, well, it's not. I have nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
But I will respond to it with something like, you know, hey, don't slam that guy. He's a buddy.
Yeah.
Or, you know, I'll say this, but I said it before. I'll say it again. I love God, my guns, and my gay friends.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm not with you. So I'm not with you on this. You know.
And you
but then they'll turn on me like, well, I thought you were like, no, I'm just not stupid.
Yeah.
I'm just not.
Like
I'm not a blind.
Yeah. And you know, you have gone through some crap.
Oh.
And I remember, like we were watching. On social media, like Mike sent me something that one of the other comics, like they were slamming you, and we both looked at that like, what is this? I'm like, no, that's not right. You know, like we like Mike and I both.
Well, I don't work Denver anymore. I don't know if you knew or aware. There's so many.
There's so much
Yeah. Stupidity.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know if I'm not really friends with them because they're a lot of younger comics, and they weren't there when I was coming up.
Yeah.
But I don't want to deal with them.
Mm-hmm.
They're not good. And I've said this on here. They're not that good a comic that I've got to deal with you.
Yeah, you can.
It's not like Denver comedy scene when it was really good.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody else brought this up. It wasn't just me. Somebody brought it. Goes, man, the Denver scene when you guys, 15, 20 years ago was like nobody wanted to come there because they got to follow you or Roseanne or they got to follow Floor Wax or they got to follow. And there's not a lot of guys there now. They're comics, but they're not like they're about to take off.
Right.
They're not. They're just comics. The comedy. Yeah, there's bars doing comedy. Like, the scene's great. And you want to go play a club with 12 people in it. If you want to go to a bar that's got 4 guys and a comic, and that's who you're playing to.
And I sit there and I watch because I watch and I don't comment on a lot of stuff, but I'm watching what people are saying. And they're starting wars with each other. And I'm like, at what point are we gonna go to the club and perform? There's comics that are working and there's comics that aren't working. It seems like the comics that are working are busy performing, honing their craft, and
being professional.
And they can say whatever they want, but I mean they're at home.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there was a female comic in Denver, and I won't say her name because I don't want to give her any publicity. But when I got in a big fight with some of the comics about being a Trump supporter, and she posted he's such a misogynist pig. He even refuses to work with women comics. She posted that
about you.
Yeah, I had done shows with her.
Yeah.
I had done shows with her.
Yeah. I
had done shows with her and Roseanne at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Roseanne went, that's a lie because he's worked with me.
Yeah.
So it's like, why do people feel like they have to lie to try to destroy you?
It's learned. And I don't, if anything can be said about me, it's that I'm loyal to my friends. I'm not going to say something negative about somebody who's hilarious and professional and gets the job
done.
And I mean, we're in the same circle because we do the ships. We see the comedy community from a different perspective. It's like there's groups that I don't fit in with because I'm not broke. I'm not.
Yeah, I'm not a struggling comic. I'm not going to go get some ramen with you and heat it up at your place.
And I won't do that material. Like I can't.
Boy, my car is so bad.
Right. So it's like I can't relate to that. And there comes the point. It's almost like being aged out. It's like you get financed out of that.
Well, that's what I was pointing at. The comedy scene in Denver to me feels like now. Mm-hmm. It's like they all want to just be that clique. They don't want to appeal to the masses. They want to try to find a comedy voice.
Right.
There are these little cliques that go, yeah, I smoke pot too. Yeah, that's why I have a crappy car because I'd rather buy good weed. Yeah, like there's nothing to what you're.
And you will. And I've watched this happen in Idaho. With a few of the cliques in the last 10 years, and it has really cleaned up since then. Like we got some great comics coming out now. I watched it where open micers have unfunnied each other to oblivion.
Yeah.
Like just supporting unfunny.
Yeah. Just patting each other on the back, telling them how great they were.
They're the only one laughing in the back of the room at awful jokes.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they wonder why they're not working.
Yeah, why can't I get any work?
Yeah.
Because you're not trying.
Yeah.
Well, I told us
he has his favorites. Yeah.
Yeah, because they do good. They actually do well. That's how you become a favorite.
Happens? Like, okay, you did a great job. You filled my comedy club. I think it's time we get some.
Yeah, or you'll see one of these guys that thinks they're just hot because they're one of the clique.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did great tonight. And you think, I saw you get one laugh.
Yeah.
I saw you get one really strong laugh. I heard this guy one time go, yeah, I'm polishing my set. And I was thinking, you can't polish shit. You just get shiny shit. Because you can't keep doing that bad set every time, and you think, oh, just one day it's going to click for me.
Well, and my thing is go do it on the road. Like there's certain people that I'll go to war with, and there's certain people that I won't. As far as going on the road and performing, there's certain people I want in the bunker with me. You're one of them. BT is one of them. Lewis Johnson's one of them. Like these guys, I know they will
do the job.
They'll get it done.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to take a chance on somebody who will wilt, when you don't have the audience that thinks exactly like you do.
Yeah.
And I've seen too many of that. Like it's so easy for them to go preach to the choir.
Yeah.
And then they can't.
Your 15 or 20 little buddies that are all the same PC dope smoking. I hate Trump too.
Yeah. And then you're good.
And then you go to an audience.
You go somewhere where they feel a little different than you.
Yeah, I've actually seen people walk.
Mm-hmm.
Used to not see that a lot in comedy clubs. They might not like you, but they didn't get up and leave.
Yeah.
But I've seen that now where somebody will start bashing for too long.
Uh-huh.
We'll take a joke.
Yeah.
We'll take a joke. But now, dude, that's enough.
Yeah, and you've heard me before, and I'm always like, I'll do a joke, but like, tell me when you've seen a show of mine where if I do a Trump joke, tell me I'm not doing a Hillary joke next.
Right. Well, that's the way it should always be. You're an equal opportunity offender. Is what I told you earlier.
Yeah.
If I make fun of this, I have to make fun of that.
Right.
That's why even in my relationship stuff, this happens, and wives do that, women do that.
Yeah.
But I do this, so it's just as dumb.
Yeah.
So you want to play that. But even still, you'll have somebody come up and go, well, if I'd have known you were just going to bash women.
Yeah.
I bashed myself.
Right.
I talked about my wife.
Yeah.
Not about, this wasn't like, why are all women so bad, dry? Like,
right.
How do you
happen to me?
Yeah. So you ever wonder that? Like, how do you take this crap so personal? That's what you saw out of that entire, I know you were going to bash.
Yeah. No, I did a joke where I talked about I was voting in Idaho. And I'm like, do you think when I walk into a voting booth in North Idaho, my vote is anonymous? Do you think like they knew which way I was going? And the whole joke was I dressed up, I had a denim outfit on, I had my cowboy boots, I had a hat. Like I'm like, they're gonna have to guess.
Darius Rucker's here to vote.
But I go and I get in line and they're like, do you want you would you like a piece of candy? It's free. And I said, hell yeah, I want some free candy. And then I was like, oh crap, that was a test.
Oh yeah, they're gonna know. I want free health care.
Yeah,
I want free college.
And now tell me, what about that? Did not hit both sides.
Yeah.
It's like I'm being discriminated against, but I also want free everything.
Yeah.
But it's both sides are there. And if you get offended by that, that means you heard what you wanted to hear and you shut down on it at the end of it. Because I'm like, the joke to me is that we are so damn similar in what we actually want.
Yeah.
But we're willing to fight each other tooth and nail over somebody we don't even know.
Yeah. Because we all, the guy we worked with last night, what was his name? I hate to.
Luke said right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good guy, did a good job.
Uh-huh.
We were talking about, he said he was so excited that, he came here because he normally works somewhere else in another part. And he goes, I came here and I was like, yeah, my jokes worked here too. That's what he told me before you got there. Yeah, my jokes worked here too. And I go, that's sort of the goal.
Yeah.
You want to make sure that you have a set that works no matter where you are. Mm-hmm. I go, if I work Idaho and then I've got a show in London tomorrow night, I want that to work.
Yeah.
And I go, that's your goal. It's not just, I kill in Eugene, Oregon.
Yeah.
You have to want to be able to kill across the board.
Absolutely.
So find everything that we relate to. Everybody, like you said, everybody wants the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
We all want a better car. We all want a good relationship. We all have parents that we could talk about.
Right.
We all have, there's certain things we all want and relate to.
Yeah.
That makes us all the same.
Yeah.
So it doesn't mean like, well, I can't believe he was an asshole because he voted for Trump. Do you want things better for your kids? I do. Okay, then what are we fighting about?
Yeah, it's like, so what do you want? Like, what do you, why do you shut down on me? Because I say one thing you don't like. You laughed at everything else. That was at the expense of somebody else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just like, if you hear one thing that I say and you shut down on me, it was like, well, the other stuff you said was funny. It was like, oh, because I was talking about relationships.
Yeah.
Like, and I was bashing marriage, so that's funny.
Yeah.
What about the married couple that hated that I did that joke?
Right.
It's all jokes are somebody's expense.
Well, every joke has a punchline.
Yeah.
And
hopefully.
Yes. Every joke. Well, unless you're one of the new guys,
Yeah.
and that's where I was going to go with this.
Yeah.
A lot of the newer comics are so PC and so afraid of offending somebody,
Mm-hmm.
they have no jokes. They have no punchlines.
Yeah.
It's all like setups.
Mhm.
Don't you hate it when this happened?
Yeah.
Okay, where are you going with that? Okay, that was all I was going to say.
You figure it out.
Yeah,
You
because I don't want to offend anybody.
I'm a little too smart for this
audience. There's no
kills
punchline because they feel like if you have a punchline, you're being mean to somebody.
Mhm.
You're punched down. I hate that phrase. You're punching down.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I'm making a joke about something.
Yeah, because I'm also willing to be joked about. Like anybody that knows me, I'm always willing to be the butt of the joke. I never take myself too seriously. There are times like you have a heckler, they say something and they might have got the best of you.
Yeah.
You don't sit there and get angry.
Dwell on it and mad.
I'm like, I'll say on stage, I'm like, okay, that was funny.
Yeah.
Like it's
one of my favorite heckler stories of all time. I was doing a show in Albuquerque, New Mexico years ago, and this woman was drunken, and drunk women are the worst because you can't really.
Yeah, if you pick on them.
You pick on them, they don't deserve it.
You're
No matter the audience does, you're a
Yeah.
monster. She was just tipsy. She
Yeah.
didn't deserve that. Blah
Right.
blah blah. So they're already the worst.
Yeah.
Well, she kept kind of edging at me,
Mm-hmm.
and I was ignoring her, And finally, this guy in the back of the room, he goes, "Lady, shut the hell up. I've seen him before. You keep this up, he'll shoot you down like a goddamn duck."
That must have felt amazing.
It did.
When
because
the audience heckles the
heckler.
you know you have something.
And he was on my side, like, don't piss.
Right.
I've seen this. Don't piss him off.
Yeah.
You don't want
Warning
to
him.
go that far.
Reputation speaks for itself. No, that's what's up, man. Like I really wish, and maybe it's how I grew up. And you met my mom today.
Yeah.
There's nothing about her that you don't know by talking to her.
Yeah, that's why I said earlier when you first got here, we should have had this mom.
Yeah.
We should have had a chat with Alvin's mom.
But that's
Because she was just like
she can hang
great
with anybody.
storyteller.
Yeah, and she's from Chicago through and through, pro-black. This happened because of this. Like this racism is intrinsic, and she'll explain it. But at the same time, I watch you and her. You all chop it up. And
We talk, and see, your
have
mom
so
and
much
I
in common.
were talking like
Yes.
your mom and I were like, oh,
Yeah.
I love Diane Cannon,
And
Diane Carroll.
that's
Yeah,
the way-
I had the lunchbox.
Right.
What? You had a black lady lunchbox?
Yeah.
I did.
I did. And that's the way it should be, and that's the way it used to be. People used to actually have real debates and discussions, and they were still friends and had respect for each other. And I think we're losing the respect portion because we're so disconnected in general with technology. It's so easy to just, unfollow, unfriend. I don't have to look at your face anymore.
Yeah, I don't want to hear to you. I don't want to hear with you.
I'm just you, and I'm just like, why?
Well, your mom made good sense today when you're talking about how she was, she's pro-black, but there's been times that I have witnessed somebody going pro-black when it was not the case. So I think a lot of times, somebody will be like, "Why did you go there immediately?
Yeah,
Like, why was that your first? Because
yeah,
I was there.
right.
I saw what happened."
Or this thing that happened where and I was unapologetic about it, so I don't care how it looks or what anybody has to say about it. This guy sued I think he sued Hilton because the security guard came over and kicked him out, even though he was a guest at the hotel. They kicked him out, and they're like, this is racist that he did that, and I'm suing for $7 million for emotional stress. And the first thing I typed was, oh no. He was being loud and ridiculous on the phone, and he was causing a disturbance, and that's why security came over, and they're just like, you need to get out of here.
Yeah.
Because what they said in the article was, the guy said, I was having a family emergency that I was trying to talk to. It's like, no, you were arguing with somebody real loud in the lobby, and you were creating a disturbance.
Yeah.
And you put the camera on as soon as somebody came over and tried to do something about it.
Right.
Now
Cut that segment.
Yeah.
Just that.
And I'm like, there comes a point. It's like, yes, I'm black. Yeah, I got your back. Until when I hear that, and intrinsically I know, I'm like, no, that's not how people don't just walk up to you
for no reason
and kick you out, because I've been there when somebody does that, and it's just like, will you chill out? We're gonna get kicked out.
Yeah.
Like, calm down. You can't be loud and drunk. The Jussie Smollett thing, like that's what Chappelle talked about when it's like the gay community came after the black community because they're just like, you all don't have his back because he's gay, and it's like, no,
we don't have it because we know.
Lying. He's clearly lying. Like, we're supporting him by not saying anything.
He's got two men from Africa
in
whiteface.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah. That's why I used to do a joke. I did the joke all the way up until Chappelle did a special, and then I quit. Because I'm like, no matter what I do,
they're going to say Chappelle did that.
People will be like, I saw Chappelle do it. I just said, this story falls apart immediately. Has anybody ever seen one Nigerian in a snowstorm?
Yeah.
When was the last time you recount that? It's like, there's foul play.
Well, just everything about that story,
everything
still had a piece of the noose hanging around his neck.
I'm just like,
I'm this guy. It never dropped his sandwich.
Right. Yeah, because you go 3 a.m. and
because how often do you and I, either one of us, thought, I should walk the subway at 3 a.m.
in Chicago,
in the
middle of the night, and that was, I did that joke. I luckily released the album before the
so it's dated.
Yeah, so it's dated. It's documented. Yeah. But yeah, I was in Chicago. That's why the album's called Talking in Chicago. I spoke about that happening in Chicago, and like it's all Chicago audience members there.
Yeah.
They're laughing like crazy because
they know.
We know none of what you said is not real. That's just not real.
Yeah, and how much of Chicago is MAGA country?
Right. Yeah, I'm like,
this is MAGA country.
Yeah, I'm
what?
like,
this is Chicago.
And that's how we were. We're like, no, Jussie, you don't get to do this. You don't get to blame it on it. Come on now.
Do you think this is weird? But I'll ask you. Do you think he was actually seriously trying to start race trouble?
Yes.
Or it was not Trump trouble, but actual race trouble.
Yes. He because so much gets lost when you throw something out there that triggers people. They will start arguing about that instead of arguing whatever you were actually speaking about.
Yeah, it's a magician trick.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's if I say this happened because I'm black, and somebody goes, no, it didn't. That person, there come another person. What do you mean? No, it didn't.
Were you there? How do you know?
Yeah, and then it's like, what do you mean? How do I know? Like, who are you? And now I'm in the background just watching.
Yeah.
And that happens too much, and that's why there's so much noise, and that's why when something really does happen, people become tone deaf to it.
Yeah.
Or they just argue about another thing and make it its own thing, and that's why I think that's why we don't communicate.
Well, I remember one time, this is what the story that stuck into my head when I was saying I've been there and I've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
Long time ago, I was in a Denny's.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess Denny's has a bad reputation as far whatever. Like,
yeah.
They don't wait on us because we're black. If they're black, they don't wait on us.
They don't wait on you because it's Denny's.
That's exactly what it was. That's exactly. I was actually there before the two black guys that came in.
Yeah.
I was there waiting, and I was waiting. And they started they're not waiting on us because we're like, I'm waiting.
Well, then somebody come over here and help me.
and the waitress was in the weeds.
Yeah.
She was black.
Yeah.
I'm like, and I want to go, see, this is the kind of stuff that I just want to go, what the the hell are you talking about?
I'm like, don't just throw that out there, man.
I'm waiting. You're waiting. She's busy.
Right.
Don't go, Denny's just hates, it's because we're black. They don't want, like, dude, I'm sitting in front of you.
Dude, they don't even put the bill. Like, you walk up to the door and you have the option to pay or just walk out. Like, they know who they are. They know what they gave you. It's Denny's. Like, you're not gonna get customer service.
Right? What'd you expect?
Yeah,
it's Denny's.
It's late. You're drunk.
Yeah.
What do you want?
Yeah. And she's an ex-stripper trying to support a kid. Be nice.
That kills me.
So that's what I mean by people think when they do things like that, it makes other people go like, "Oh, we going there again."
Yeah.
You know.
And I've seen it this way because, like I said, I'm from Chicago. You asked about how many homes I've had, and I live in Idaho now. And there's a reason that I do these shows in North Idaho, and I talk with the people, and there's a reason that I'm funny to them because they know I'm coming from a place of love when I do this stuff. Like you heard me yesterday.
Yeah.
Like I tease Idaho people about everything. And it's fine because it's I always tell people
they know you're one of them.
Yeah. They know I'm one of, like, I live here. I'm one of the people. And it's like Thanksgiving dinner. That's what I tell my friends. It's like Thanksgiving dinner. I come here, and I'm part of the family. So I say something. They might not like it. They're like, all right,
Alvin's doing it again.
Yeah. So who's your other friend that you brought this time? Let's talk. Yeah, you know how you start the conversation with the guest that the guy brought over after you get done arguing with your family?
Yeah.
That's what it's like for me. I come here, I get some stuff off my chest, I'll say something funny, I'll keep the funny thing, I'll go on the road with that, and then I bring in my friends, and then they do their A game.
Well, before we wrap it up here, I just want to ask you one question about basically masculinity.
Yes.
Because of the remasculate thing.
Mm-hmm.
If you had a son right now, if you had a son, how would you choose to raise him? Would you want to raise him more with the traditional masculine skills, or would you be one of those like, oh, maybe I should let you decide you want to be a butterfly today?
Oh no, here's the thing. Because of me, and this is the God honest truth. I can't change a tire. I don't know how to work a grill. I don't fight well. My son is going to learn all three and fast, as soon as he can. I want him to be the manliest. I want him to learn how to box. You know, I want to be able to protect himself. I want him to be able. The only thing that I do that I'm super proud of is I speak my mind anywhere. Yeah. You know, and I learned that from my mom. But no, I think those qualities are so important, and I think deep down, and it always comes to the surface. Those same women that say you're mansplaining, you're doing that, you're mansplaining. Yeah. They don't want a dude that doesn't know how to work a grill. Yeah. They don't want a dude that doesn't know how to fix a tire.
As much as they say.
Say what you want to say.
Or is it just because they're all looking for that gay best friend now?
Sure.
Women always, it always seems that women really want that, they're the ones.
To a point.
But
then they want
a guy when it comes down to.
They want a real man.
Yeah.
And that's my son will be every bit of that I can instill in him. He won't know what I don't know how to do. Because he'll be taught. Yeah. And he'll know how to swim.
Yeah. But see, I'm the same. I'm a lot like you in the sense that, I am not and I've had people complain about this to me, but how can you do remasculate? You don't like football. I'm not a football guy.
What?
Yeah.
No, I'm teasing.
But I love to fish. Yeah. And I used to hunt when I was a kid. And I now guns. I'm crazy about guns. I collect guns and I shoot. But when I was in school, I wasn't one of the guys. I didn't play football, but I painted the signs for the cheerleaders. Yeah. Because I was an artist. So I did the arts, and I made the signs that the football guys would run through in high school. You know, those kind of posters. So I always related a little more to women because I knew like what they like because I hung out with them and I listened to their conversations. And I thought, well, if you want a girlfriend, you should probably know what kind of shoes they like. You know what I mean?
Yeah, compliment them on their earrings.
Yeah. So you could be as macho as you want to be, and you and your buddies can slam beer cans on your head. Yeah. But I got a girlfriend. Yeah. So you go out there and tell me, oh, you're not man enough. All right, whatever. Sure. Ask her about it.
I'm with her. Yeah. It's the one thing, and it's like I said, and even about speaking about, and you talked to my mom today, and she tells all these stories about me. I'm fearless. you know, for whatever reason, it's like I'm not the biggest, strongest guy, but it's just like I don't have fear. Like I'm not scared of death. I'm not scared of the.
I saw your mom. I know what you've been through.
Yeah.
You can't be afraid of it.
Yeah, she's like, that's one thing, you know, her and my grandparents is like, speak your mind, be honest, be real.
Mm-hmm.
You know, nobody can battle against real if you're just being true to you know. But yeah, I have no fear. You know,
I'm a firm believer in facts and truth,
Mhm.
which is really not a good thing because I won't compromise the truth.
Yeah.
If it's the truth, I'm not going to go, well, I see your point.
Yeah.
I know you're wrong. This is the fact.
Yeah.
You need to educate yourself. No, you need to become aware. No,
just
and I find that's causes more trouble because I'm not going to cave because you're unhappy that I'm telling you you're wrong.
right.
You are wrong.
Yeah, run your race. Like you live your life. I'll live mine, and we'll see where our truth takes us because I'm comfortable with my truth.
Like my wife has told me, like at times we'll go to a party or something, and she goes, "Will you be nice to my friends tonight?" And I go, "I won't guarantee it."
Yeah.
Because I don't put up with if I'm at a party and I hear somebody actually telling a lie,
Mhm.
you know, like, can't believe that Trump did it. No, he didn't. You know, if I know for a fact,
Yeah.
that is not a true.
Yeah.
She goes, you don't need to go. And I go, people, that's the old saying that evil triumphs when good people do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So if I just let that story go unchecked, now somebody else believes that.
Yeah.
And that's where I can't do that. I can't.
Yeah.
I'm like, no.
And at what,
you see, you're like, oh God,
but at
here
what,
he goes.
At what point is it not? I mean, it's still politics. It's still politicians. Like you're gonna get lied to, and everything isn't gonna go your way.
Yeah.
And why can't we? I mean, why can't we have discussions still?
Well, not everything needs to be picked apart like it should.
Uh-huh.
Like I just read an article today. It was an article that said about. Remember, Trump said the guy they just killed al-Baghdadi was whimpering at the end of the tunnel, begging for his life.
Oh, see, I'm out of the loop.
And
something.
They killed the head of ISIS, al-Baghdadi.
Oh.
Yeah. They got the head of ISIS. He goes, he was whimpering, begging for his life before he blew himself up with a suicide bomb.
He blew himself up?
Yeah. And one of the headlines said that insider says he doesn't know what Trump was talking about when he said was whimpering for his life. Well, whether he did or not, we just killed one of the worst guys in the world.
Yeah.
The head of ISIS was a rapist and a murderer and burned guys in cages. But you're going to pick apart. You don't think Roosevelt in World War II went, we just kicked some Jap ass. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wrote, I can't believe.
Yeah.
So they're picking stuff just to constantly make it bad. Instead of going, you know what, I don't agree with you, but you got one of the bad guys.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I always remind people, everybody's got to make money.
Yeah.
You know, it does not behoove them to see anything positive for a side that they don't agree with. They will always then say, well, but he did this, you know, but he did that. And I'm like, what
is the outcome?
Yeah.
What is the final outcome?
But let me ask you this. Is Trump the guy going in the tunnel or whatever and shooting the guy, or is it our soldiers, you know?
Yeah, it was actually a dog that chased. That's what the government noticed.
It was a dog. Why can't we get behind the dog?
Dog, I know.
We all love dogs.
There's all these memes all over about a hero that Trump is putting a medal on a dog now because it was a dog that chased him down.
We should all get behind the dog. If we can't come together
over a dog, we will never come together over anything. All right. Well, Alvin, tell everybody how to find you. This is the point of the show where I always go tell everybody what's your website, Twitter, all that stuff.
You can find me on alvinwilliamscomedy.com. That's my main website that has all my tour dates. I do my Instagram the most, which is at Comic Alvin Williams. You can find me on Twitter at Alvin Williams as well, but that's just typically me putting in my Instagram stuff. So follow me on Instagram. That'll be the most value to you and me.
Well, there you go. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the podcast. This was fun. We actually went longer than we normally do. Normally it's an hour. We've gone an hour and 25 minutes.
Hey, you're my boy, man.
We had fun. This was good. Guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Share it with your friends. That's the only way people find us. Go to iTunes. Give us a great review. That moves us up the ladder, and that makes us easier to find on iTunes. So until next time, God bless America. Go listen to some Oak Ridge Boys. I bid you adieu.
In the basement of the mud flap house, flapping and poo, and they're under with the grains and news. And Pooh licks herself, and Flap contemplates manly things. He thinks about guns and trucks and Stooges 3, men and boys, and that doesn't sound right. He thinks about boobs and bacon and power tools. Come with me, let's remasculate. Oh, won't you come with me and remasculate?
Aloha!
Today's podcast is brought to you by Nature's Best Relief, CBD oil and products. Hey, this is pure high-strain hemp. That's what it is. It's what they do. Their products are made from a cannabis compound with significant supplement benefits without the THC that makes you stoned or high. It's just the good stuff. The hemp products help with inflammation, pain, anxiety, psychosis, seizures, spasms, and other conditions. And here's the best news. If you use code word MUDFLAP or Remasculate at checkout, you can get 10% off your total bill. That's right. So check out Nature's Best Relief CBD oil and hemp products. They've got capsules, the lotions, cream. They got all the flavor oils. That's what I've been using. I like the cinnamon and the vanilla. But check them out at naturesbestrelief.com. That's naturesbestrelief.com. And use code word MUDFLAP or Remasculate and get 10% off your total purchase. Now, let's get on with Remasculate.